Hey guys, this is Bill Cannon from Awesome Engines. This is our Pro Street 468 cubic inch 400 Pontiac block. It's got a 4 1/4 crank, it's 4155 bore, might be 4185, 4155. This is a smaller one. 4 1/4 Eagle crank. It's got the 6/8 I-beam, maybe H-beam. It's one of our street rotators, but it's got a good forged piston in it. The heads are Edelbrock. The heads, they're just a D port. This is going in a 63 Pontiac over in Germany. The guy wanted all the torque he can get. It just made 542 foot-pounds of torque, very low RPM, and 440 horsepower. And this is a 93 octane or 91 octane pump gas motor. It's 9.5 to 1 compression. This is our black heat or black street heat theme. The motor's all black. The customer wanted it that way. I don't have a vacuum pump on it. I don't have any PCV valve system on it. It does have a 1-inch spacer. The block is piston's 19 in the hole, so I didn't really try to kill this thing with compression. We just put a really good comp cam in it, a hydraulic roller, and the thing has got throttle response out the butt, and it's got 35 degrees total timing on it. I got the big pill. It's a 375 pill with both heavy springs in the MSD ready to run distributor, which works absolutely flawless. The throttle response again has got the new Brawler QFT 850. This is my first outtake with this carburetor. This thing worked absolutely beautiful from the beginning to the end. I plugged it, put some fuel in it, pumped it twice, hit the key, it idled like a cotton picking dream. I've got a half a turnout on all 4 idle bleeds. It's got the stock jetting. I forget what that is, but I do have a card that I can mention something maybe later. But the thing is, it's an animal in torque. He's going to break everything he puts behind it. I guarantee it. I've got a small header on it. It's not anything great. So pretty much it's a 7-quart oil pan. I got a little too much oil in it, but it's a break-in. I've got 7 quarts. I usually use 6. It's got 100 pounds of oil pressure from this M54 MD54S pump. I have no idea where that's coming from, but I may have to take a little look at that. But it does have a straight 30 weight Renegade break-in oil. It's got 2200 parts per million ZDDP. Remember guys, that is everything in a motor, especially a hydraulic roller like this. You put it in a flat tap at anything less than that, you're going to kill the motor. Anyway, it's got a good double roller in it. It's all our stuff. We did put the black Edelbrock intake, the Pontiac valve covers. That's all Summit stuff. Didn't touch anything. The heads, when I got them from Edelbrock, what a big mess that was. There wasn't but 3 valves that seated. The valve seat concentricity was the worst I've ever seen, even among the Chinese heads. I called them at Edelbrock. They all jumped on it, got all excited. I had to do a full valve job on them. I sent them a video of me touching the seat with my VGS machine. It was going It hit on about one third of the valve. And I put a little light in there through the exhaust port. You can see all the way around the exhaust valve except for about an inch of room. Intake valve wasn't as bad, but a couple of them were. But the exhaust valves, it was disgusting. It looked like a third world country did it. But I talked to both guys at Edelbrock. They assured me that they got rid of a bunch of old equipment, some Rottler, or I don't know what they had. Maybe it wasn't Rottler. They got new Rottler machines in there now, but this head was made in 2017. If you got a head for that and your stuff don't run, you got a junk valve job. But anyway, I did a perfect valve job on it. Set the springs back up at 160 pounds on the seat. They got, it'll take as much cam. This is a 590 lift cam, but it's a little short on duration. We want torque again, but I wanted the heads to breathe. It's an animal. It's exactly what he wanted. I'm gonna give you a little look to see at it. So you can get a little shot at what we give. This is a complete turnkey piece. He's going to take it to Germany, or I'm going to ship it to Germany. And it does have the new power bond dampener. It is an SFI piece. I don't like the stock dampeners. They're junk. They break. And this is the Edelbrock cylinder head. And what I was wiping off was, I put the engine assembly lube on all the bolts to make sure that when I'm torquing, it comes up nice and smooth. It gets a little warm, and it makes a little teeny bit of little stuff if it gets on the header, but there's the MSD distributor. It's a ready to run MSD Blaster 2 coil. The Brawler, I can't tell you guys enough about an 850 Brawler. It's got an electric choke, That thing is absolutely gorgeous for like whatever they sell it for. I know it's cheap, and it's ridiculously cheap, but that is a nice carburetor. Rosso, nice 7-quart pan to fit the chassis. Steel block, 2-bolt main, 400s, YC block. I think it's a 68 or 69 block, maybe a 70. But it's all really, really nice stuff. And there's nothing trick. I'm not hiding nothing. Let me go show you the dyno sheet. And that is our new CNC machine, by the way. That's a block CNC machining center. It's got 24 tool changer. The thing is dead on tits. It just doesn't get any better. Here's the sheet. The last pull, I gave it 1 degree more time, and it went 427 at 4750. I pulled it to 4800, and it did 533 foot-pounds of torque. And at 3100. Now, I'll show you the torque curve in a minute. I gave it 1 degree timing, and I warmed the motor up. It did 439 at 4700 and 542 foot-pounds of torque. That's crazy. I don't care what anybody says. That's just like nuts. But at 3550. And let me see, the average acceleration rate. This one showed more torque because I was a little slower on the pull here. This is a 773 versus an 813 average acceleration rate. I like to keep them under 1,000. I don't cheat. I got a 50-pound flywheel on the back of that crank, by the way, and I have and that's not to start the motor. That's just to control the acceleration rate. There's the performance spreadsheet, and look at that torque curve, guys. Look at this thing. It starts here. This horsepower climbs nice and smooth. It's flattening right off. I'm not going to run this thing past 46, 4800 RPM. And this little girl here starts here at like 500 foot-pounds of torque at 2600 RPM. And as you can see, that thing is flat as a 2x4. It's one of the better Pontiacs I build. It is a little pricey because it is all brand new stuff except for the block. So everything's brand new in this motor. The brake specific is a little bit, the brake specific's dead on the money. 450s, 420s. You know, I don't worry about this little high thing up here because it usually starts running out of gas. But that's a 470, and then it goes to a 440. But that's a 1,000 horsepower fuel counter. Well, actually, it's a 1,500 horsepower fuel counter. There's the fuel pressure, nothing crazy. We just had fuel pressure here. And I didn't put that's just a little spreadsheet on the fuel. It doesn't mean anything. The engine oil pressure is 89 when it starts. And 89 when it starts. It's 135. I did cool the motor off here. Oh, I cooled it off. Okay, so it liked the room being a little cooler. And at the end, I was at 95 at 4800 and 97. 137 degrees at the end of the pull. On the pull number 2, 134. I do have a few pulls other than this. Just to get it all tuned in. I start at 30 degrees time and work my way up. Starts at 126, goes to 128. And then you got to turn the half on the temperature valve. That thing will run cool as a cucumber. Other than that, that's the real dyno. This is a look behind the window in here. We have double pane bulletproof glass in here. Something breaks, we can fix it. I'll see you later, and bye-bye.